And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Ryan Metzler.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan Metzler here again, and today we're going to be taking a look at a little bit lighter game. We're going to look at Pizza Theory, which is a game for 2 to 3 players. It's kind of an abstract game, but it's an abstract game which they put a theme on it that works very well. And as you might be able to tell, it's going to be a game about pizza and getting your toppings on the pizza and dividing the pizza into slices while your other opponents are trying to divide the pizza into slices that are the best for yourself, or in their case, the best for them. The game plays really quickly. It's going to be only like 10-15 minutes. Has very few components and has this awesome box that looks like a pizza box. So real quick, why don't we take a look at what comes inside this amazing box. We'll take a look at how the game plays, and then we'll come back here and we'll get some final thoughts on it. So here you can see the components for Pizza Theory. Not too many components. We have a pizza-shaped board, some toppings in 3 different colors, 3 different dice, and some wooden sticks. Now the objective here is to get all of your pieces on the board. So green has all of these pieces. The pictures on them are just for flavor. They don't matter. These are green pieces, we have white pieces, and we have red pieces. The objective, as I said, is to get all of your pieces on the board, and you're going to do this by replacing your opponent's pieces by making slices of pizza with these sticks that have the majority of your pieces in it more than anyone else, and thus replacing their pieces with your pieces. So on a turn, we'll see we have the first player, second player, and third player in their own little trisected areas of the board. And basically, you'll start with the first player, and they will take a piece of their toppings, and they're going to put it on the board in any spot that doesn't touch one of their own pieces. So let's say, for example, white puts a piece here, then green would go, and maybe they put a piece over here, and red goes, and they decide they want to be right here. Great. After this, each player is going to select a number on this die. Each player has their own die, 6-sided die, and it corresponds to the 6 lines on their section of the board. And which one of these numbers they choose is going to decide where they're going to place their stick in order to make the slices of pizza. So you're going to try and predict what everyone else is doing in order to divide this pizza into pieces that have the majority of your toppings in each section, or in some of the sections. So let's say the white player chose 6, the green player chose 2, and the red player chose 1. White would place their line or their stick on line 6 from their area. Green places theirs on line 2 from this area, and red is going to place on line 1, which is right here. And we'll see this divides the pizza into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different areas. None of which, or actually one of which, has 2 green pieces and only 1 of each other piece. So green, in theory here, should replace both of these pieces with their own pieces, thus getting 2 more of their pieces on the board. However, there's a caveat rule here, which says if all of the pieces of which you're in only have 1 of your piece, you cannot be replaced. So we'll look here. Red, every piece they're in only has 1 of their piece, and white, every piece they're in only has 1 of their piece, which means this couldn't be replaced. But let's say we had a situation like this, where white had 2 pieces in this slice. In this case, green could replace white's piece, and they would get 1 of their own pieces added to the board. After this is done, you're going to rotate the board. And the player that was second will become first, the player that was third will become second, and the player that was first will become third. And you're going to repeat this in the same manner. So everybody would again place 1 of their pieces on the board, starting with the first player, which is now green, somewhere where they're not adjacent to 1 of their own pieces. And you would continue on in the same manner. So we have something like this maybe. Again, each player would choose a number on their die and cut it into pieces. So let's just say we ended up with a scenario, like this. White places here, green places here, and red places right here. In this case, we have a red situation where white is in this spot. They have 2 pieces in this spot, so they're not safe, and red replaces this white. In this slice here, they're even. There's nobody else in these 2 slices, and red and white both match here, as so does green, so everybody is safe there. And you continue doing this until one player manages to get all of their pieces on the board, and at that time, that player will be the winner. Now, there is another variant where you play only 2 players, and basically the players are going to control the third player in the game and then roll the die for random slicing of the pizza. That way you can play the game if you don't happen to have all 3 players, but still the player who gets all of their pieces on the board first wins. And there you have Pizza Theory. Not a game that's going to see a lot of play from me, but this is not because it's a bad game. It's just a little bit outside of my usual range of play. Now, As I said, it's not a bad game. I actually enjoy the game quite a bit. It's really short, which is nice for that filler area, and it's really easy, which is nice for kids. I mean, even if you don't have a deep strategy to trying to figure out how to play, which I feel like I might have a strategy that actually works most of the time, but maybe, I mean, that's obviously going to depend on what my other opponents are doing. But even without a deep strategy, you do stand a chance of winning, which is always nice when you have a younger audience to entertain. So if you're looking for a nice light filler style game, one with a great theme and really good components, take a look at Pizza Theory from Gryphon Games.
To try this game and over 800 others before you buy them, visit BoardGameExchange.com.
Thanks for watching our review today. For more information about board games, as well as the #1 board game audio podcast, check out Dicetower.com for reviews, interviews, and more. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.